Welcome to the week. This is your Daily Detroit for Monday, November 25th, 2019. Today's episode is a first taste, if you will, of a new set of dining and drinking concepts that are to open today at the very top of Detroit's most iconic building, the GM Rencen. They're called the High Bar, Hearth 71, and Highlands. Of course, they'll have some amazing views since it is the highest point in the state of Michigan. But culinarily, do they have promise? I'm Jer Stays, and joining me in a minute is Randy Walker. He went to a media preview over the weekend to check it out. Of course, as with all early access things to restaurants, this isn't a review, it's more of a peek. But first, thanks to our members on Patreon who make our show possible. Independent media requires independent funding. You can join them at patreon.com/dailydetroit. And thank you. Well, grab your fork and let's dive in. Joining me in the North End studio, Randy Walker. Welcome back to Daily Detroit, my friend.
Thank you. It's always fun to be on the show.
Absolutely. Often you are behind twiddling knobs and doing the engineering, but today you actually conquered your fear of heights and went more than 70 stories in the air to this triple threat concept that's happening in the Rencen. Its opening has been delayed, and now it's going to actually happen today, Monday. Randy Walker, what is going on at this place?
Yeah, so at the top of the Rencen, floors 71 and 72 are an entirely new concept from chef owner Sean McLean and his wife Holly. And they have created High Bar, Highlands, and Hearth 71.
That's not confusing at all. They all start with H.
Two
High
of them
Bar,
are high.
Hearth, and Highlands. Okay, well then let's get into the High Bar because, I need a drink before I get into all this.
Yeah, so after you get your ears popping from the ride up the elevator to the 71st floor.
I saw your Insta video, though. It was really cool. I always love seeing that.
Yeah, it's about 2 minutes up and about a minute and a half down.
So to give people some concept, if you've never been to the elevators in the Renaissance Center, there's something cool about them in that they basically are open air. Not open air, but open view.
Yeah.
Open air, you would have been terrified.
Oh my God, yeah. It was a great view of the river and our friends over in Windsor.
Okay, so High Bar is what you get when you get in the door.
As soon as you step off the elevator, you are at High Bar.
What can people expect there? Does the Rencen has a very kind of modern feel to it? Do they kind of carry that through?
So the whole space, High Bar, Hearth 71, and Highlands are all a very warm, homey, inviting kind of feel. High Bar is probably the glitziest just because of the light fixture above the bar. And it's multiple layers of gold with lights and things like that. They're actually still working on getting those finalized installations. So
they've actually had some problems with various fixtures and things because we were going to go to a press opening. Have we been delayed once or twice?
We were delayed twice.
Twice. Okay, so This is the third time's a charm.
Third time's a charm, yeah.
With this. So they've had delays in getting this thing together.
But they still don't have the bar stools they want for the bar. So they're opening Monday with or without them, and hopefully they get their gear in ASAP. But like I said, you walk into High Bar, great looking bar, lots of bottles of scotch and whiskey on the back bar, beautiful light fixtures. We'll see what the bar stools look like when they arrive. But immediately to the right of the bar is the entrance to Hearth 71, and to the left is the entrance to Highland.
So basically you've got your choice of which kind of ride you want to take.
Absolutely. That's a good way of putting it. But before you actually do go to one of the other places, I would recommend you actually take a drink at High Bar. Sean McLean's friend, Tony Abu Ghanim, they met on Iron Chef. They actually won, and they've become friends. And so he contributed recipes to the restaurant and to the bar.
So this place has got some star power.
It does indeed, yes.
And so what's kind of the vibe at High Bar? What do you expect when you get there?
Well, it was super fun to walk in and saw a bartender I already knew from the Detroit area, so that was great. But yeah, it's a cocktail bar. It's not a rum and Coke kind of bar. It's
proper cocktails, multiple ingredients,
and lots of fancy whiskeys and scotches.
Nice.
Kind of playing up the Highlands theme there, Scottish Highlands theme there with the scotches.
Oh, okay. So you have a drink at the High Bar. Then let's look at Hearth 71, which is, as I understand it, the more casual of the concepts.
Yeah, for sure. As you walk to Hearth 71, there is a wall of whiskey lockers. So there are
Ooh.
21 whiskey lockers. You can join their club. They'll give you unique bottles, and then they'll even give you some glasses that they etch with your name on them.
That kind of reminds me of what they have over at the Detroit Athletic Club. They've got like cigar lockers and things like that. That's pretty fancy.
And they'll also do tasting events.
Oh, okay. So Hearth 71, we've got three concepts here. One is the bar. Hearth 71's more casual. What does that mean? Is that a lower price point? What's Hearth 71?
Hearth 71 is ad hoc, come as you are, walking off the street in your street clothes.
So no reservations.
They will take limited reservations there, a couple of tables, but they want it open for people who come in and don't want to disappoint those people who didn't come in with reservations.
Gotcha. So you had a chance to have a bite of some of the food. What'd you think?
It was delicious. I had a tasting of the bacon-wrapped medjool date with a romesco sauce. I love
dates.
Yeah, it was a great sweet and savory combination. A little bit of spice in the romesco was quite good. They will be serving a variety of small plates, and they're pretty affordable. $14 burger. They do have a few larger plates too.
So it's going out affordable. It's going out night on the town affordable.
Yeah, this place is. I wouldn't hesitate to stop in if we were out drinking downtown.
Wow. So what about the hours on this particular place? Because if it's kind of accessible, I feel like that could be something that would be good for like a semi-businessy lunch, or since it is in the headquarters of General Motors, you got Blue Cross there, you've got a bunch of companies that like, oh, I want to have a decent lunch upstairs instead of the food court. Can I do that?
So currently, all three places are only open Monday through Thursday from 5 to 10, and then Friday and Saturday from 5 to 10:30.
So fair warning to everything that we're talking about here. This is an evening only situation.
Evening only for now. Chef Sean did say that he was considering a lunch service that would start sometime in early 2020, which is great because, I work downtown. I'll swing in and grab a lunch there for sure.
I mean, it's really the perfect place. I have a couple of good memories of this place because if people didn't know, this actually used to be a restaurant that actually spun around. You could see the city. I don't think that's the case anymore, though, is it?
It does not spin, unfortunately.
Oh, man.
The last thing I heard was estimates to repair the spinning motor would be several $1 million.
Wow. That's okay. That's a lot of money. That's why we don't spin anymore.
Totally not worth it.
Yeah, totally. We've talked about the more accessible kind of option. Let's talk about Highlands. I know there's a lot of buzz about this place because, this seems to be what could be another premier offering in downtown Detroit's dining scene.
I would say so for sure. So Highlands is a steakhouse. They have a wood-fired grill, but it's more than just slap a slab of beef on the grill. This is kind of a chef-driven, kind of fancier.
Would you say it's curated?
Sure, we'll go with curated steakhouse.
Okay, what does that mean? Like, give me a couple of examples.
His chef did say that he wanted it to be more of an everyday occasion steakhouse than a special occasion steakhouse.
But the prices.
But the prices were a little high.
You texted me the menu, and I think the steak prices start at $48.
Yeah, the cheapest steak starts at $48. So depends on your definition of everyday occasion. But it is wood fired. They serve wine. They're focusing on red wine because, red wine and steak is a classic pairing. But they do have some whites. But they are coming in magnums and double magnums. So that's the bigger wine bottles.
I'm speechless.
And even bigger, chef said they were building or requisitioning custom 12-liter bottles that they will hook into a tap system so that they can pour those by the glass and not lose freshness.
Is this like a high-end box of wine, basically?
Well, yes, but it's a glass. It's a glass wine bottle. Okay. So it works in theory like a box wine, but it'll have a tap system on it instead of just a spout, so it'll stay fresher. So that those wine by the glass is the first glass will be just as fresh as the last glass.
Well, very clearly my east side is showing.
One of the cool things about the wood fire grill there is that they're actually using local ash wood.
Ooh,
we've had a problem with ash borers in the area, so they've found a local purveyor who's taken those trees and cured the wood, and so they're using that ash wood to fire the grills there for those steaks.
Were you able to have a first taste of some of the food over at Highlands as well?
Yeah, I got a taste of a seared scallop that came with braised oxtail and some mushrooms, and then it was in a sauce of sweet onion and foie gras.
Ooh,
yeah,
fancy.
It was delicious and fancy. And I got to see Chef McLean actually spoon some sauce on the plates himself, so that was fun.
Well, and maybe not as of much interest to our listeners, but there is an event space another level up on 72. What was that like?
Yeah, right now it's empty. They're still working it out, but also it's empty because they can build it to whatever you want. They said they could easily hold 225 seated to 300 standing.
So like corporate parties and stuff like that.
Corporate parties or weddings or things like that for sure.
Gotcha.
There are 2 event spaces out on either side of a gallery. Each ends with a bar. And so, it depends on if you want a view of Belle Isle or Woodward, basically.
All right. So having looked at all of these concepts as a whole, what were your takeaway? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
I really liked it. It felt like walking into like a cabin or a homey, cozy place.
Which is interesting in a building like the Rencen.
Yeah,
it's
for
basically like the definition of modern brutalism.
It is for sure. And I really liked the wood tones, the fabrics, a lot of dark green color, plaid carpeting. There
Lots
weren't a
of
lot
plaid,
of
huh? Like, so very much Scottish. They're playing
playing
this
up the Scottish theme. I mean, Chef McLean is Scottish. Highlands is also a play on how high up the restaurant is, but then also the Scotch ties into the Scottish history as well. So it's a little bit of a mismatch with a kind of a gentle theme. It's not super kitschy. It's not played up at all. It's just some gentle inspiration.
I mean, I say they should offer discounts to people who come and play bagpipes for them. Randy, I really appreciate you doing this, taking a Saturday night to go out and check all this stuff out. So thanks, man.
Yeah, I was glad to see the space, and I will definitely be there frequently.
All right, that'll do it for now. Thanks for listening. Sven is on his way back to the States from Minsk, so he should join us either tomorrow or Wednesday, depending on how things shake up. If you like the show, be sure to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or tell a friend about what we're doing here at Daily Detroit. It really does help. I'm Jer Stays. Take care of each other, and we'll see you around Detroit.